Have you ever felt like a genius producer one day and then literally the next day you can't make anything and you just start thinking like, man, maybe I should just quit. Fuck this. One week you're cooking up beats like it's nothing, and then the next week it's like, man, where the fuck did my skills go? You start thinking, man, am I even good at this? Maybe I should fucking switch career paths or something. Trust me, I've been there so many times over the years. And guess what? Every producer, every musician goes through this. It's totally normal, but it's definitely something you need to get control over. I've been producing for well over a decade and doing it full time for over half a decade. And over the years, I've just kind of figured out some tricks to help me stay creative, even on those kind of off days or those weeks where I'm just not feeling like super creative. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to never run out of ideas for beats. And I'm going to give you a ton of ways, some obvious ways and some not so obvious ways to get inspired, to get new ideas, even when you're stuck, just so that you'll always have something to work with. Just a little side note, I know some of you might be thinking like, what's the point in this? Like, if I'm not feeling inspired, then I'll just leave it. But I'm assuming that it'd be cool for most of you if you're a producer to do music as a full-time career. And when you're in studio sessions and you need to be creative on cue, then these are the things that are going to benefit you. But yeah, let's get into it. So the producers who actually run out of ideas for beats say they suffer from a thing called beat block. And this drives me insane because beat block is not real. It sounds crazy, but just think about it. Your brain didn't just stop working. Your creativity doesn't just disappear overnight. The ideas are still there. You just got to pull them out the right way. Let me explain. Imagine you're trying to drink a milkshake, but the straw's clogged. You can literally see the milkshake, you know it's there, but nothing's coming through. That's exactly what's happening when you think you've got beat block. Your creativity isn't gone, you're just stuck because you're doing the same things over and over again. Think about it like this. If you eat the same food every day, you're gonna get tired of it. If you play the same video game over and over, eventually it's not fun anymore. If you make beats the same way every time, guess what? Your brain gets bored. So it's not that you've lost your creativity or that you've got beat block. You just need to switch things up and get inspired in a new way. Now, when you think you've got beat block, it's normally because of one of these 4 reasons. You're overthinking. Instead of just making something, you're too busy judging every single note, every single drum sound, every single pattern. That pressure that you're putting yourself makes you feel like you can't create. Number 2, you're just doing the same thing too much. If you're always starting with the same type of melody, use the same drum patterns, or just make the same genre over and over again, then your brain just gets a bit tired of it. Reason number 3 is you're just tired. If you've been making beats for hours or even days without taking a break, your brain just needs time to recharge. Yeah, creativity just works best when you're not forcing it. And reason number 4, you just need new inspiration. If you're only listening to the same music or just doing the same things every day, then your ideas start to feel a little bit like repetitive. Believe it or not, your brain actually needs new input to actually come up with new ideas. Once you understand this, you'll realize that beat block isn't actually real. You just need to do something a little bit different to get the creativity flowing again. And at that point, you'll never run out of ideas for beats. But yeah, with all that being said, let me show you exactly how to never run out of ideas for beats. The last way is so powerful, it's so easy to do, but no one wants to do it. But yeah, anyway, let's get it going, man. The first way is to just listen to other beats. If you normally start cooking up a beat and just prior to that you haven't actually given yourself any input, then just listening to beats in your niche is a really good way to just get some new ideas, get some new inspiration. Honestly, this should be like a regular habit of yours anyway, because it's good to just hear what the market is listening to. It's good to hear what the market is actually reacting to, what rappers are actually using, and just see what's getting views basically on YouTube. So if you like to make melodic gunner type beats, then just come in, just type gunner type beat. This one's only 8 days old and it got a bunch of views. Yeah, it's just like a simple 1-5, came straight in with the drums. I've already got some ideas for this now. I know what chord progression I want to use. I know the kind of drums I want to use. And literally after listening to one beat, I'm ready to cook up. So if it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 beats for you to kind of cycle through to like really get a cool idea of like what beat you want to make, then just do that, man. Just take as long as it takes to really like come up with an idea where you're like excited to cook up the beat, you know. Another way is to just listen to new music. I'm super guilty for just going on Spotify and just looping my liked songs playlist over and over. So I'm just like listening to the same music all the time. But honestly, every now and then you just need some new input. Pull up Spotify, just go to your homepage and take a look at like the curated playlist that Spotify has made for you. They give you loads to go through in here, man, like daily mixes. Got a ton of songs to go through that I can listen to and just pick inspiration from. And even if you don't have Spotify, just come to YouTube, come down here to the music section at the bottom left. You got this new and trending section right here. You got today's hits. You've got all these different playlists for you to choose from. And they've even gone to the trouble of splitting these up by like genres and stuff like that. So yeah, you can find exactly what you're looking for, man. Now, I know these videos hold a lot of value, but I'm also aware that sometimes you just need more when it comes to really trying to build up your confidence and just find your own path as a music producer. So if you are looking to take your production to the next level and just need a little bit more guidance, then I do actually offer one-to-one mentorship mentorship where I can kind of help you get towards those producer goals a lot quicker. Now, I do have some slots opening up in March, so if you are interested, then hit the first link in the description, just answer a couple quick questions, and if it's a good fit, then I'll reach out to you and we'll get to work ASAP. Now, the next way, and I do this quite often when I'm making beats, is just to think of the artist that you want to make this beat for whilst you're making the beat. This is a good little tip if you're a producer who just likes to create off of nothing. They just want a blank canvas to just make stuff. Sometimes it is good to kind of think like, okay, who do I actually want to rap on this? So Baby, for example, wants something kind of like soft, melodic, and just letting his creative ideas be dictated by the artist that you have in mind is a really good way just to kind of keep things on track and almost have like a good end goal for how you want the beat to sound once it's finished. Keep an artist in mind sometimes helps a lot. So the next way is to build a chord bank. So just building a bank of chords in your head, go-to chord progressions that you know works, that you know what kind of vibe each chord progression is going to give you, is absolutely golden. This is going to help you massively when you're in studio sessions and you've got to kind of create on the fly. I mean, obviously you can just pull loops in, but if the artist is like adamant they want stuff from scratch, then this is a really good way to do it. Now, if you want to be lazy and you don't want to spend time doing this, if you just Google free MIDI chord pack, this one's got 7,400 chords that are included, an absolute ton of MIDIs that you can just drag and drop and start working. And if you don't want to search for a free MIDI chord pack, then God help you, but you can come into FL and they actually have an inbuilt chord generator. So if you just come into the piano roll, click the wrench, come down to generate chord progression, or you can just press Alt-P. Then it comes up with this and you can just generate endless chord progressions. Now, another way is to just try a new genre. If you always make trap, try making some R&B. If you always make drill, try making some lo-fi. Even just starting with the mindset of I'm going to try and make a different genre can really just spark some new ideas. So let's say, for example, you always make trap and you want to make R&B, and start things off by making an R&B beat, but then that might spark some new ideas for you to go back to trap, and you kind of got like this hybrid beat that's kind of melodic and mellow but got those hard trap drums. You never know what can happen, man. Now, another fun and more creative way is to just use new and weird sounds. So grab a little portable microphone. If you don't have a portable microphone, we all have one of these. We all have a phone. Go out, go around your house, just start recording some random sounds, man. Grab this lens cap and tap it. Go into the bathroom, grab some deodorant, spray some deodorant through the mic so it sounds like a shaker or like an open hat or something like that. Literally anything, man. Honestly, going out and doing this is even more fun. Just going out into the woodlands and getting some like field recordings or just hitting some sticks together can always be fun too. And then yeah, just bring them into your project, tweak them, have fun with them, just start making some like super weird sounds, creative sounds, and that can spark a ton of new ideas. If you don't want to do that, then we have the internet, where the standard of kits these days is super high and you can just get a bunch of crazy sounds. Most of the time you can get them for free too. Head over to prodllb.com, got tons of free kits on there, and there's no shortage of sounds these days. Everyone's dropping a kit pretty much every week. Just type in 2025 drum kit and mine will pop up. But yeah, just doing a quick Google search, a quick YouTube search, you'll easily find some new sounds to work with. Now, another way to get new ideas for beats, a little bit controversial, but steal. Now, I don't mean just completely rip people's beats and use them as yourselves, but just think of songs, think of beats where you're like, oh man, I actually really fuck with the bounce, I really like the snare, I really like this certain element of the beat. Take that, bring it into your own project, and then just add your own tweaks to it to make it your own, make it more original. You hear this all the time in hip-hop, producers taking drum breaks, taking melodies, straight up sampling older songs and bringing them into their own production. And yes, that is producing, it's production. Not everyone has to start every beat from scratch. Let's not get into that argument in this video. But yeah, the next way is to use 3 sounds or less in the melody, or even in the whole beat. Give yourself a bit of a challenge. Adding these limits and these constraints sometimes is actually a positive thing. It just simplifies the process, especially if you've been making music for a little while and you kind of got this whole bank of knowledge where you just want to throw a million sounds into one sample. Stripping it back to a more simplistic workflow sometimes is actually beneficial. Start off with a little chord progression, one little top line as a call, another little top line as a response. That can be a whole melody, add your drums to it, and you're good to go. Could be the next hit, who knows. Another fun way is to change your starting point. If you always start with the melody, then try starting with the drums. If you always start with the drums, start with the melody. Even start with the bass first. If you always start with the chords, then start with a top line. It doesn't really matter, but just adding that little switch to your workflow can spark new ideas. It can spark a new bounce. It can just completely change the outcome of that process of making a beat. Another fun way is to remix your old beats. Can't tell you how many beats are just collecting dust on my hard drive. Either that or you just got old beats collecting dust on your beat store. So spend some time, man. Go back, listen to some of your old music. You might get some new ideas. You might think, okay, like I really fuck with this melody, but the drums aren't it. Let me just go back into the project and redo the drums. Boom, you got another beat that you might have just thrown away and you brought some new life into it. Another cool way is use a random instrument that you've never used before. This could be a real instrument or again, just VST version. But if you're always starting with pianos, then try a flute. If you normally use synths, then try using a guitar. New sounds equals new ideas. Another way, and actually a bit of a time saver, is to just make a beat without a melody. Just use your drums and pulling a bass, this really forces you to kind of focus on rhythm and groove, and it really forces you to kind of up your game when it comes to actual rhythm. You can't just be doing a two-step or clapping 808. And vice versa though, if your drums are fire and your melody game isn't that strong, then just try making a beat without any drums. Just really focusing on putting together like a full composition of a melody instead of just like an 8-bar loop that kind of goes for 2 minutes. Really can just help you level up your game as a producer. Another fun way is to just loop a random part of a song. Just pick a tiny piece of a song, even if it's just like one single note, tweak it and just build an entire beat around it. A bit more of an obvious way is to use a different BPM than usual. So if you're always making music at 140 BPM, then try it at 90 BPM. Slower tempos or faster tempos can just inspire new grooves and new bounces, man. Another fun way is to take a melody and play it in complete reverse order. Basically, instead of just straight up reversing a sample, go into your MIDI and just play the same notes backwards. So give you a quick example. I got this little melody right here. If you're always using this chord progression and you're kind of bored of it, then in FL Studio, there's a little shortcut. If you just press Alt and Y, and then just make sure this flip horizontally is checked, press accept, see what it sounds like. Just a different vibe, gives it more of a different feel to it, and yeah, that's a new idea for me to work with now. One really important way is just don't overthink it. I made an entire video about overthinking a couple weeks ago, so check it out when you get a chance. But in a nutshell, creativity comes when you're having fun. So don't stress, don't keep judging yourself, there's no pressure. Music's a fun thing to do, just stop overthinking, have fun with it. And then finally, the last way, which again I said is super powerful, it's so easy to do, but some guys just don't want to do it for whatever reason. I think ego plays a big part in this, and it is to just take a break. I know we all have this kind of like grind mindset where we need to be doing stuff all the time and moving fast and thinking, you know, if I'm not doing something, then someone else is catching up to me. But trust me, even those people that preach that have to take breaks. You just need those moments to recharge. For all you gym goers out there, if you go to the gym and work out, you've broken down those muscles, you need to let them recover and let them grow back stronger for you to then go back to the gym and keep working out. Take that mindset and bring it into music. If you've been creative for an entire day, quite an intense few sessions or something like that, and the next day you're just feeling wiped out, don't force yourself to make a bunch of different beats, because one, you're going to feel burnt out, and that's a quick way to get burnt out in general. And two, you can still be productive and do other things like work on content, work on building up a business, go to the gym, who knows. Don't worry about it, you're on your own path. Don't worry about people catching up to you or people taking over you or people forgetting about you. Don't worry about it. Taking a day off isn't a bad thing. It's only a day. You know, people aren't going to forget about you that quickly. But yeah, if you try at least one of these tricks, I guarantee you'll have new beat ideas in no time. If you ever feel stuck, it's not because you ran out of ideas. You just need to switch things up. Creativity isn't something you lose. It's always there. You just got to find new ways to bring it out. Trust me, the best producers, the producers who you look up to, aren't the ones who never got stuck. They're just the ones who know how to kind of push through it and push forward even when they do get stuck. So the next time you're feeling that beat block creeping in and you're just feeling frustrated, just try something new. Experiment. Above all else, have fun. The ideas will come, I promise. But anyway, now go cook up something fire. And if this one helped you out, then drop a like and leave a little comment and let me know which trick that you're going to try out. But that's going to be it for this one. Peace.